folks, coming up next it is the brutal War Games match. 2 rings, 1 cage, 2 teams consisting of Edge, the Dudleys and Gallows and Anderson representing the Commissioner, and the corporate agenda taking on the resistance of Seth Rollins and the Bullet Club, forming AJ Styles, the Young Bucks and Finn Balor. And this one not only started with the Seth Rollins-Edge rivalry, it started way back before then between Seth Rollins and the Commissioner. I am out here tonight to talk to you, Commissioner. Over these past few months, you've done everything in your power to try and turn me into your corporate puppet.
I'm not trying to do your dirty work, I'm just trying to help, Seth. I'll give you the night off next week. I am giving you the coveted number 30 spot. I don't want things being handed to me. This is exactly what I was talking about last week, Commish.
But I've refused your help, and I've done everything I've done on my own, including winning the Royal Rumble from the number 1 spot. Yeah, we go way back. You and I, we were in the NWO together. But times have changed. I've seen how you've used the Dudleys. I've seen how you've used your 2 goons. And I saw what you did to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm the one going to WrestleMania, not you. You have to get that through your head. I am sick of what you've done. You and I are through.
We were friends, and I ruined that. Because I was too focused on business. I'm willing to put my hand out, shake your hand, and I want you to remember this moment.
That right there is the kiss of death. It's Edge. And Seth Rollins didn't want to be the corporate puppet for the Commissioner, but here's a desperate man who is more than happy to sell his soul to the devil. Edge has made a deal with the devil himself.
Edge, you, those damn Dudleys, and those 2 goons can team up and take on me and 4 guys, and we have ourselves a War Games match. Rollins, that kiss of death was just the beginning of the end for you. Now I have friends in high places, and it looks like you don't have any friends at all who would be dumb enough to side with you.
Bullet Club 4.
Who would be dumb enough to side with Seth Rollins? The question should be, who would be mad enough to take on the corporate team? They are not allowed to be on this brand. They're not contracted to be on this brand. But Finn Balor, AJ Styles and the Young Bucks of the Bullet Club have accepted the challenge. What the hell's going on? Don't tell me that Gallows and Anderson are the ones behind these heinous actions, taking out Stone Cold, attempting to dismantle the Bullet Club and Seth Rollins, and they are working for the corporate team.
If you didn't know before, you sure as hell know now. This is a war. All we care about is kicking your ass and taking you to war. I see a man like Seth Rollins who seems to get handed everything because he's the flavor of the month. I'm gonna get through you. And with the help of my boys, the Bullet Club, we are going to take you down in War Games.
And that now leads us in to where we are now. And finally, War Games is here. Let us now run down the rules. The match will begin with 1 member of each team entering the cage, and after 2 minutes, a member from one of the teams will enter, and that's going to be decided by the winner of a coin toss. They will have the advantage, but after 2 more minutes, a member of the opposite team will enter. Entrants are going to alternate between the teams every 2 minutes, but once all 10 men have entered, the match beyond will begin. The only way to win this matchup is once all 10 men have entered, and the only way to win is by submission or surrender. There are no pinfalls, no countouts, and more importantly, no disqualifications. Anything goes. The only way to win is to make one of the opposing team submit or surrender. And I have not seen this man surrender at any point in his life. And that drive, that determination is what led him to winning the coveted Royal Rumble from the number 1 position. And now he is the Intercontinental Champion, heading in to the most dangerous match of his career. He was able to withstand 29 other men in the Royal Rumble match to get a shot at WrestleMania. But if he gets injured or hurt here tonight, his chances of going to WrestleMania to face the champion are in jeopardy. And that is precisely why Edge wanted to face Rollins in War Games. He wants to take him out before WrestleMania because Edge feels that he should be the one going to WrestleMania, not Seth Rollins. And be that as it may, it looks as if the captain, Seth Rollins, is going to start this match. However, Edge has opted not to start this match, rather instead goes to pick Carl Anderson. And don't get me wrong, Carl Anderson is a great competitor. However, I do believe that Edge didn't want to start this matchup, especially considering he had all the power in his hands, being the captain of the Commissioner's team. And that's a lot of responsibility, and this matchup is underway. And Carl Anderson representing the corporate faction. There's a boot and a clothesline. We saw at the start of this matchup how this entire rivalry came about between Seth Rollins and the corporation. But there you see the dropkick by Rollins, and the countdown is now on. 2 minutes on the clock, and after that, one of the members of either of these teams is going to enter. Oh my god, what a single leg dropkick by Carl Anderson. I'm not going to continuously reference what has happened in the past. The fact of the matter is, you saw what happened, and this is the result. A War Games match, and it's the sort of the last resort for the Commissioner, it would seem, to try and get rid of his enemies in the form of Rollins and the Bullet Club. But there's a tornado, or I should say, an elevated DDT from the second rope, and now the suplex. Thus far, the cage has not been a factor. Or he says, but, well, I spoke too soon. There is the dropkick into the cage. And this cage can be your enemy, or it can be your best friend. And it's looking to be a friend for Carl Anderson. There's the knee into the cage. And now Northern Lights, no! Well, Seth Rollins got Northern Lights suplexed into the cage wall and turned it into a DDT. And it looks as if 2 minutes have already elapsed. And now the countdown is on. 5 seconds to go. Who has got the man advantage? Oh, well, now we know. We know that the Commissioner's team, the corporate faction, have won the coin toss. And that means that they're going to have the 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3 advantage throughout this match, etc. And now, oh, look at that though. Rollins' athleticism personified. But gets caught out. Like Spider-Man hung onto the cage, but the dive was caught by Bubba Ray Dudley. The Dudleys are henchmen of the Commissioner. And right now there is the belly to belly into the cage. Bubba Ray Dudley. Such power with this man. And he looks to be in the best shape I've seen him in for a while. And he knows that if he manages to win this match for the corporate team, the Commissioner's going to be dishing out some hefty paychecks. And now draped across both ring ropes. Oh my goodness! Splitting him in half. The axe handle to the stomach. And that is what's so unique about this War Games matchup. There are 2 rings as opposed to 1. And that middle part of the ring, that is very hard. We saw what happened earlier tonight when Kevin Owens powerbombed Kurt Angle in between the rings. We still don't know what the condition of Kurt Angle is, but I can tell you what the condition of Rollins is. Not in a good way, but tries to fight back. Backdrops Carl Anderson into the cage wall, but the Bubba Bomb stops Rollins in his tracks. And Seth Rollins is being pummeled already. And I don't know how long it's going to be. Well, 10 seconds to go until a member of the Bullet Club arrives, but Rollins is already in a bad way. But who's coming out now? Oh my god! Well, this War Games match just became phenomenal. Here comes AJ Styles. And again, look at that. An interesting strategy by Seth Rollins, employing the heavy hitters early, whereas Edge has, well, arguably saved the best till last. We don't know when Edge is going to enter this matchup, but AJ Styles, arguably the most talented wrestler in the world today, out second. And that is going to be, well, I'm not so sure. You know, you send your best out early, they're going to be gassed by the end of this matchup. However, maybe if the best of Edge's team come out later, they'll be fresh. But look at this. They're not concerned about that right now. The assist from AJ Styles. And Seth Rollins flies from one ring into the other. That's easy to say. And where is Rollins going now? Using this cage as a climbing frame, and there's the Phoenix Splash from the cage. Crushing Carl Anderson's ribs as AJ Styles goes to work on Bubba Ray Dudley. Rollins now with a headlock and a punch by AJ. But now, look at this. And, oh my goodness! Oh my god, look at that! The power of Bubba Ray Dudley again. Jeez, AJ Styles went inside out, into the cage wall. Oh, and I'm worried about AJ right now, but there's an enziguri. And an elbow to the back of the skull by Carl Anderson, but I'm still concerned about AJ over there. Meanwhile, Rollins being double-teamed in the other ring. The German suplex and clothesline combination was deadly that time. And now, things are only going to get worse for Rollins and Styles, because another member of the corporate faction is about to come in, but who is it? Oh, and this is why strategy. Sending in Devon Dudley now, has Edge and the Commissioner. I'm not sure how much input the Commissioner has had in not only picking this team, but arranging who comes out when. But this is wise to get the Dudleys in here early after all. They are former tag team champions in basically any promotion you can... Oh my god. Oh god, look at that. And look at that, already Rollins is lacerated and he's bleeding all over the place, and there's a 3DB. But meanwhile, Rollins bleeding like a stuffed pig. And in the other ring, oh my god, well that was what's up. Devon Dudley with a headbutt to the groin, and again, no rules in this matchup. There's going to be no medics to help Rollins out here. AJ sent into the cage by Devon Dudley. And the Claymore into the cage to Rollins. That's got him messed up right now. Look at this. Oh, but went for the knee drop. Rollins moved. Meanwhile, in ring 2, the Dudley boys calling for it. Going for 3D! But it got turned into a tornado DDT. AJ Styles gets out of 3D. Oh, and the monkey flip into the cage. A bloody Seth Rollins monkey flipping Carl Anderson. And what is AJ thinking now? Going for the... No, well, I thought he was going for a springboard. But instead, he's in the other ring. Oh my good grief, what balance by AJ Styles. Double springboard 450 splash. And now the knee driven into the throat of Bubba Ray Dudley. And there's Devon coming to the aid of Bubba. Oh, and again hacking out the knee. They can't win it yet, but they can certainly wear down their opponents. Thankfully, another member of the Bullet Club is imminently making their way to the ring, and it looks as if it's going to be one of this too sweet twosome, and here comes Nick Jackson with a super kick. And now another one to Bubba Ray, one half of the former NRW Tag Team Champions. Now taking the fight, oh my, oh look at that, the DDT onto the apron. And I'm going to be saying, oh my god, and good grief a lot in this matchup. I can already tell. We're barely 10 minutes in, and already carnage has ensued, and a massive senton in between the rings to Devon Dudley. He doesn't even have his brother out here yet, and already Nick Jackson is kicking ass. And the Dudleys are down. Carl Anderson's down. And now, a power bomb into a buckle bomb, into a kick. And this is great strategy by the Bullet Club. And this trio now, managed 3-on-3, they're working effectively. And springboards in stereo. AJ with a crossbody and Nick with a moonsault. You can see AJ Styles holding his ribs, but Bubba Ray onto him. And Seth Rollins still bleeding, but oh, and there you see, catapulted into the cage. And now the Commissioners trio are back on track. They've got the momentum back on their side, and it's only going to get better for them. But Nick reverses him. Oh my! 3D! 3D from the Dudley Boys. And luckily for Nick Jackson, he can't get pinned yet, but do you know what? Maybe it's not so lucky. After all, they're going to have to suffer this punishment even longer. And it's only going to get worse, as I said. Oh, and there's a hip attack into the cage. Cross-faced by Carl Anderson. And now, we know who the fourth guy in is. 7 feet tall, 300 pounds of Luke Gallows. And the door's open, and oh no! Oh my, look at that. Oh look at that. Hasn't taken long. AJ Styles bleeding all over the place. Luke Gallows slamming that steel door shut in the head of AJ Styles, and AJ bleeding now, and he's thrown, pressed into the cage wall. Incredible power from Luke Gallows. And you cannot find any better mercenaries for your cause than the Dudleys and Gallows and Anderson. They are working like a well-oiled machine, and that's precisely why the Commissioner hired them. Oh, and there's a vertical suplex in between the rings, and a bloody AJ Styles right on his ribs and back again. And as the ring fills up, or both of these rings filling up with talent, and oh, it's just becoming like a war zone now. AJ Styles' head crushed between the two ring posts, and now hung up in a drop kick again. I don't know what to call anymore. It's just carnage. And the assist with a knee drop. AJ's bleeding, Seth Rollins bleeding. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Nick Jackson's bleeding. And again, look at that. He's trying to get back to his feet, but oh, misses the spear. But Bubba Ray in from behind, and now Bubba Ray. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that strength. And agility from AJ Styles. Hanging on from the roof of this cage, and the Rana again. Amazing. Amazing ability from AJ Styles. Such innovation. But who's next? Oh, and the brother tandem is now complete. Matt Jackson going to make his way to the ring. And to make matters worse for the Commissioner's team, he's got a damn steel chair. I'm now bringing weapons in to this steel cage. A chair shot to the skull of Carl and Luke. And that chair just makes this War Games match even more deadly. And a tornado DDT, using the cage to his advantage that time. And now on the other ring, Rollins superplex is the Falcon Arrow. Devon Dudley got taken out, and Matt Jackson holding down Luke Gallows. And what is the strategy here? Splits his legs. Oh! And the tope suicida to the other ring. I should say it's more of a tope con hero. He just somersaulted into the other ring, and now the Young Bucks with a Meltzer driver. Not only that, Matt Jackson ran along the wall of this cage and a backdrop into a Stars Clash. And the momentum has shifted tenfold, but here comes Luke Gallows again. But Devon taking out Matt Jackson, but you can see Bubba Ray. Look at, oh, now Carl Anderson bleeding all over the place, and Bubba Ray was taken out by that Meltzer driver, that cage running Meltzer driver. And meanwhile, Look at this, using the roof of this cage as monkey bars and collapses onto all the massive humanity. Nick Jackson using his body, dropping his weight onto everybody in the ring. And now there's only 2 men to go. We know who's next, and he is the ultimate opportunist. And he will seize the opportunity in this cage to do as much damage as possible to Seth Rollins. There's a spear to Nick Jackson. And now presses, oh my, look at that. And a pop-up Rana into the cage wall. But a heel kick from Edge. That flurry of offense was short-lived. My voice is hoarse. But these men are even sorer. There's a chair shot to Seth Rollins. And dives through both ropes. Both sets of ring ropes to deliver a spear to the Royal Rumble winner and the man who Edge says cost him his shot at the title at WrestleMania. And that is true. Edge was number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Rollins was number 1. And it ended with Rollins winning. That is why Edge is so furious. And that is why this War Games match is happening. And now using the chair as a springboard to clash to Seth Rollins' face and body into the side of this cage. And the numbers advantage is 5-on-4 at the moment. And Edge with a steel chair shot, a sickening thud across the spine of Rollins. And the Intercontinental Champion is down and out. And meanwhile, Matt has climbed the side of the cage. I don't know what he's thinking. And look at this. The Bucks have followed. And a Tower of Doom. Matt Jackson climbed the side of the cage. Gallows and Anderson were there to try and take him out. But AJ Styles and Nick Jackson probably, I would say at least, cost the health of Matt Jackson that time. Take a look at this again. May have hurt Matt Jackson more than they intended, but nevertheless it did the job to take out Gallows and Anderson. And now the chair in the throat of Seth Rollins. And they desperately need the Demon in now. And the final man will enter. And the match beyond has begun. And Finn Balor is set to make his way to the ring to be the final man in this match. Oh wait! Oh, look behind you! Missile drop kick! He came up through the ring! And the sling blade by Balor. The Demon arose from the depths of hell. Through the ring as well, and now, look at this. Calf crusher. Calf crusher applied to a bloody Carl Anderson. Are we going to get a submission here? Remember, the match beyond has begun. All 10 men have entered. That means you can now win the match by either submission or surrender. And there's a calf crusher, but Luke Gallows breaks it up before Anderson can give up. And Luke Gallows standing menacingly, but here comes Balor. Bloody Sunday, dropping Luke Gallows on his skull. The Demon has arrived to save the Bullet Club. And is he going to go for the coup de grace? No. And there's Edge with a steel chair to the knee of Balor. And there's no love lost here. The Education reverse sharpshooter. Is Edge going to make Balor submit? Is the corporate team going to win this one? No. Matt Jackson breaks it up. And Matt Jackson thrown to the apron now. In between the cage and the ropes. Now Edge will submit. Oh my God! Spearing him right out of the cage! Breaking the latch on that door. The referees didn't have time to lock the door yet. And that's cost them big time. They're outside the cage. The cage has been breached. Look at that. Such a forceful spear that sent Matt Jackson flying out of the cage. And now they're outside. God only knows what's going to happen now, but Finn Balor with a missile drop kick. And now they're out. Edge going to get catapulted. No! And Edge trying to escape, but Finn Balor's joining him. Oh no, this is dangerous. They're at the top of the arena, for God's sake. Oh, and if one of them falls, that's like 20 feet. Oh, and a backdrop. Oh my God. Oh, for a second there, I thought he was going to backdrop Edge off of this cage. That's a 20-foot drop from the top of the cage to the ring below. But Edge on the top there. And that cage wall can break any minute. That cage roof is perilous. Oh, and there's a shot and a half. Look at this. The education, I should say the execution on the top of the cage. Oh no, oh wow. Finn Balor hanging on for dear life. Nearly fell off the cage. Meanwhile, Gallows and Anderson fighting with their backs. Oh my God. Finn Balor fell 15 feet from the top of the cage to the stage, and well, if he fell any further, God only knows what would have happened. But look at this, elbowing Balor off of the cage roof, crashing down onto the Bucks, crashing down onto Gallows and Anderson. I think Finn Balor might be done in this match. Meanwhile, in ring 2, there's a 3D right on the neck of Seth Rollins. And now Edge is going to lock the door. The Bucks can't get in, but neither can Gallows and Anderson. And oh, what are the... Oh, is that handcuffs? Oh no, he's got handcuffs, for God's sake. He's going to handcuff AJ, so Rollins will be all alone. But AJ trying to fight out the handcuffs. Trying to fight... Oh, wait a minute. Wait, look at this. AJ Styles reversed. And now Edge is handcuffed to the cage. And now the playing field is even. There's a phenomenal forearm to Bubba Ray Dudley. Balor has been taken out. The Bucks, Gallows and Anderson have been locked outside the cage by Edge. And now Edge himself has been handcuffed, padlocked to the cage wall. He has no help whatsoever now. But the Dudley boys looking to finish the job themselves. Bubba Ray with Rollins, goes for the powerbomb, but turned into a Frankensteiner. Such quickness and agility by Rollins to turn that move into a Rana mid-air. There's a drop kick by AJ. And now Rollins finding a second wind. He is furious with the commissioner and he's taking it out on his henchman. The Stars clash to Devon Dudley. And meanwhile, Edge still trying to fight out those handcuffs to no avail. And now look at the blood pouring from the head of Bubba Ray Dudley. There's a ripcord knee. Devon's been taken out by the Stars clash. And now it's 2-on-1 against Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray isolated. A powerbomb into the cage. And that blackout curb stomp. Seth Rollins points at the man who he started his feud with. And now it's evolved into this. The Dragon Sleeper in the centre of the ring to a bloody Bubba Ray Dudley. Is he going to submit? And look at Edge trying to get out of the chains, but he can't. Bubba Ray may be knocked out. May not even be able to surrender. AJ threatening Edge, and Edge calls it off. Edge surrenders. Edge surrenders this match. For the sake of his team. More like for the sake of himself. And the Bullet Club is victorious. Bullet Club has won the battle and they have also won the war. AJ Styles and Seth Rollins bloody and battered, but they celebrate their victory here tonight at Desolation. This is how it ended. Edge got handcuffed to the cage and then that left Bubba Ray all alone, bloody and beaten. There was the blackout, then the Dragon Sleeper trying to get him to submit. However, it turned out that Edge was the one who said, I give up, I surrender. And it was Bubba Ray who was suffering the punishment, but Edge just wanted to save his own hide. And now Luke Gallows trying to unlock those handcuffs to try and get Edge free. But the Bucks, Rollins and AJ celebrating the ring. They have won this match, but I'm quite concerned for Finn Balor. Balor took the tumble 15 feet off the top of the cage and he's being helped out now. Don't know what injuries he sustained. I'm sure they're numerous. But the Bullet Club will celebrate regardless because they are victorious inside of War Games. Edge and the Commissioner's team may have been foiled, but tonight is the night where we will remember the Bullet Club reigns supreme. But that is not all. We still have our main event to come, folks. Tables, ladders and chairs for the World Championship. Michaels puts the title on the line against CM Punk, and that main event is up next.